You're sitting across from them. It's the same booth you've sat in 100 times, the same drinks, the same banter. But tonight is different. Tonight you are vibrating with news that is too big to keep inside. You've been holding it back for 45 minutes, waiting for the right opening, waiting for a lull in their drama, waiting for the permission to shine. Finally, the moment comes. You lean in. You drop your voice, not because it's a secret, but because it feels precious. You tell them the number. Maybe you close the deal that changes your tax bracket. Maybe you finally hit that six-figure milestone in your savings. Maybe you just paid off the debt that has been strangling you for a decade. You say it, and you wait. Freeze that moment. Don't look at their mouth. Their mouth knows what to do. Their mouth has been trained by social contract to form the shape of a smile. Look at their eyes. In that microsecond before the congratulations rolls off their tongue, what did you see? Did you see a spark of genuine electricity? Did you see their pupils dilate with shared excitement? Or did you see a flicker of grief, a tiny, almost imperceptible flinch, a dullness, like a light bulb dimming in a hallway? You saw it. You felt it in your gut before your brain could process it. The air in the room didn't get lighter, it got heavier. The energy didn't expand, it contracted. They say the words, "Wow, that's amazing." But the tone is wrong, it's flat. It has the same emotional resonance as someone acknowledging the weather. It's a congratulations that feels strangely like a condolence. And suddenly your joy, which was a roaring fire 10 seconds ago, is doused with a bucket of ice water. You feel stupid. You feel like you just bragged. You feel like you took up too much space. So what do? You start backpedaling. You instinctively start managing their emotions instead of celebrating your own. I mean, it's great, but the taxes are going to kill me, you say. It's a lot of money, but the stress is unreal, you add. I'm just lucky, really. Stop. Look at what you just did. You just apologized for your success. You just dimmed your light because it was blinding them. You sensed their discomfort, their silent, vibrating hostility toward your financial elevation, and you instinctively tried to make yourself smaller to fit back into the box they have comfortably kept you in. This is the opening wound. This is the moment you realize that your best friend, the person who held your hand through the breakups and the breakdowns, the person who knows your darkest secrets, cannot handle your light. They want you to be okay. Let's be clear about that. They don't want you to be homeless. They don't want you to starve. They want you to do well, just, not better than them. Consider the new car scenario. You pull up. It's not a Ferrari, but it's clean. It's new. It smells like leather and achievement. You get out beaming. You toss them the keys. A real friend, a friend who is secure in their own financial identity, would scream. They would jump in the passenger seat. They would crank the music. They would say, "You worked for this." But that's not what happens, is it? They walk around the vehicle slowly. They kick a tire. They look at the paint with a critical eye. And then comes the question that is designed to puncture your balloon under the guise of concern. How much is the insurance on a beast like this? Did you lease or buy? Because interest rates are terrible right now. I heard the transmission on these models is tricky. Is it practical, though? Do you feel that? That is not financial prudence. That is envy dressed up as advice. They are looking for the flaw. They are desperately searching for the crack in your victory so they can insert their wedge of negativity. They need to find a reason why your win is actually a mistake, because if your win is valid, if your financial ascent is real, then their stagnation is also real, and they cannot face that mirror. This is the uncomfortable truth about why your friends secretly want you to fail. Your failure is their comfort. When you are broke, when you are struggling, when you are stressing about rent, you are relatable, you are safe, you are one of us. Your struggle validates their struggle. It confirms their worldview that the system is rigged, that money is evil, that success is impossible. But when you break out, when you crack the code, you become a threat. You become living proof that it is possible, which means they have no excuse. Your financial success strips away their alibis. And the silence is the loudest sound in the world. You post the photo of the new apartment keys. You get likes from acquaintances. You get comments from strangers. You get heart emojis from that guy you met at a conference 3 years ago. But your inner circle, your ride or die crew, radio silence, they viewed the story. You know they saw it. You can see their name on the list, but they didn't double tap. They didn't text. They didn't call. That silence is a weapon. It is a calculated withdrawal of approval. It is a way of saying, I do not consent to this version of you. They are punishing you for changing the dynamic. They are withholding the dopamine hit of validation to train you, like a dog, that this behavior, this winning, this earning, this succeeding, does not get rewarded in this friendship. And it hurts. It hurts more than a breakup, because you thought you were climbing the mountain together. You thought they were spotting you. But you looked down and you realized they were never climbing. They were holding the rope, waiting for you to slip so they could say, I told you it was dangerous up there. Come back down here with us, where it's safe, where it's broke. You have identified the wound. You have felt the silence. Now you need to see the mechanism. This is not an isolated incident. This is not just a bad day for them. This is a systemic pattern of behavior designed to keep you in your financial place. It's a series of microaggressions that individually seem harmless, but collectively, they are a cage. Let's talk about the must be nice dynamic. You're at dinner, the bill comes. In the old days, there was a frantic, clumsy dance of credit cards. I got it. No, I got it. Let's split. It was a shared struggle. But now things have changed. You've had a good year, a great year. You casually reach for the check not to show off, but because you can, because you want to treat your friends, because generosity feels good. And then you hear it, the three words that poison everything. Must be nice. Spoken with a smirk, spoken into the rim of a glass. Must be nice to not even look at the total. Must be nice to have that corporate card. Must be nice to just throw money around. Pause. What is actually being said here? Must be nice is the ultimate passive-aggressive dagger. It implies three things simultaneously. You didn't earn this. You got lucky. Must be nice implies fortune, not labor. You are out of touch with reality. You are making them feel small. They take your generosity, an act of love, and twist it into an act of privilege. Suddenly, you feel dirty for paying. You feel like you need to apologize for being able to afford the appetizers. You laugh it off. Oh, stop, I'm just having a good month. You deflect, but the seed is planted. You learn a lesson, do not be generous. It breeds resentment. Now, zoom into the subtle shame of the upgrade. You've been wearing the same scuffed sneakers for 2 years. You finally buy the high-end pair. You didn't buy them to flex. You bought them because they're comfortable, they last longer, and frankly, you like them. You wear them to the meetup. They spot them immediately. Their eyes dart to your feet. Whoa, okay, big spender. Are those the brand? Damn, I could pay my rent with those. There it is again, the juxtaposition of your luxury against their survival. I could pay my rent with those. It's a guilt balm. It frames your purchase not as a personal reward, but as a moral failing. How dare you wear expensive shoes when your friend is thinking about rent? The implication is that you are selfish, that you are frivolous, that you have lost your roots. They aren't just commenting on shoes. They are policing your identity. They are drawing a line in the sand. We are the people who struggle. If you stop struggling, are you still one of us? And then there is the joke that isn't a joke. You're in a group setting. Everyone is laughing. And your friend, your best friend, decides to make you the punchline of a financial joke. Oh, don't ask Mike to split the Uber. He's too rich for pool rides now. Yeah, Sarah's forgotten what a clearance rack looks like. Mr. Moneybags over here probably has a guy for that. Everyone laughs. You laugh too, because if you don't laugh, you're sensitive. If you don't laugh, you've lost your sense of humor along with your humility. But look at the function of the joke. It is social shaming. It is a way to publicly mark you as other. They are using humor to alienate you. They are signaling to the group that you have changed, that you are different, that you are perhaps a bit ridiculous now with your new standards. It is a discipline tactic. They are training you. If you want to avoid public ridicule, stop showing signs of wealth. Notice how this pattern extends to their curiosity, or lack thereof. When you were broke and complaining about your boss, they had hours for you. They would listen to your rant about the low pay, the bad hours, the unfair system. They would pour the wine and nod and say, "Yeah, the system is broken." They were fully engaged in your misery. But try talking about your investment portfolio. Try talking about the real estate market. Try talking about a tax strategy you just learned. Watch their eyes. They glaze over. They check their phone. They interrupt. Can we not talk about boring money stuff? God, you're obsessed with capitalism. Can we talk about something real? Do you see the manipulation? Pain is real. Struggle is real. Success, that's boring. That's capitalism. That's fake. They are gaslighting you into believing that your financial growth is superficial, while their financial stagnation is authentic and deep. They are curating the conversation to exclude the parts of your life where you are winning. Because if they acknowledge those parts, they have to acknowledge that they are standing still. So they censor you. They make it socially awkward for you to discuss your wins. And eventually, you stop. You learn to bifurcate your life. You have your money friends, if you're lucky enough to find them, and your old friends. And when you are with the old friends, you put on the mask. You pretend you're still worried about the price of gas. You pretend you're still living paycheck to paycheck. You perform poverty to maintain the connection. And that is the tragedy. You are shrinking yourself to fit into a room you have already outgrown. You've seen the face. You've heard the must be nice. You've felt the jokes landing like bruises. But now we have to look at the ugly machinery underneath. Why is this happening? Why can't they just be happy for you? The realization is a gut punch, and it is going to make you sick. They are playing a zero-sum game. In their mind, in the deep reptilian part of their brain, status is a finite resource. There is only so much success to go around. If you take a big scoop of it, that means there is less for them. If you rise, they effectively fall, even if they haven't moved an inch. Your elevation creates a relative deficit for them. Think about a photograph. If everyone in the photo is standing on the ground, everyone looks normal. But if you suddenly stand on a chair, everyone else looks short. You didn't push them down. You didn't dig a hole under their feet. You just stood up. But by standing up, you forced them into a position of lower. And nobody wants to feel lower. So instead of finding their own chair, they try to kick yours out from under you. This is the uncomfortable truth. They need you to stay at their level to validate their own life choices. If you were both broke at 25 and you are both broke at 30, it's fine. It's the economy. It's society. It's bad luck. You are comrades in the trenches. Your shared struggle proves that the game is rigged and there's nothing anyone can do about it. It's comfortable. It absolves them of responsibility. But if you were both broke at 25 and at 30 you are wealthy, if you figured it out, if you disciplined yourself, took the risks, learned the skills, and broke the cycle, suddenly the economy isn't the only variable. Suddenly, bad luck isn't the only explanation. You have become the variable. You have become the living proof that it could have been done. And that means they could have done it too, but they didn't. Your success strips them of their victimhood. Every time you achieve a financial win, you are silently screaming, "We didn't have to stay here." And that screams at their inaction. That screams at their laziness. That screams at their fear. Your bank account is an indictment of their wasted potential. This is why they resent you, not because they are evil, but because you make them feel inadequate without saying a word. Your existence has become a painful mirror. When they look at you, they don't see their friend, they see what they failed to become. And this leads to the darkest realization of all. The crab bucket mentality is real, and you are in the bucket. You know the analogy. If you put one crab in a bucket, it can climb out. If you put a bunch of crabs in a bucket, none of them will escape. Why? Because when one starts to climb, the others pull it back down, not to eat it, not to kill it, just to keep it in the bucket. They are pulling you back. When they say, "Come out tonight, don't be boring, stop working so hard," they are pulling you back. When they say, "Why do you need all that money anyway? You can't take it with you," they are pulling you back. When they say, "You've changed, you used to be fun," they are pulling you back. They are weaponizing your shared history to anchor you to the bottom. They are using your loyalty against you. If you really loved us, you wouldn't leave us behind. But the only way to not leave them behind is to stay stuck with them. That is the covert contract of the friendship you didn't know you signed. I will love you, as long as you don't make me feel like a failure. You broke the contract, you started winning, and now they are enforcing the penalty clauses, the passive aggression, the exclusion, the guilt. And here is the part that will keep you up at night. They don't even know they're doing it. They aren't sitting in a dark room plotting your downfall. They tell themselves they are worried about you. They tell themselves you work too much. They tell themselves you've become materialistic. They construct a moral high ground to justify their envy. They wrap their jealousy in virtue. I just value experiences over things, they say, while looking at your new house with hungry eyes. I'm just not obsessed with the rat race, they sneer, while complaining about their debt for the third time this week. They have to make you the villain, because if you aren't the villain, if you aren't greedy, obsessed, or lucky, then you are just better at this game than they are, and their ego cannot survive that truth. So they will sacrifice the friendship to protect their ego. They will let you go, or they will drag you down. Those are the only two options they can see. And you are standing there, holding your wins in your hands, realizing that the people you wanted to celebrate with are the very people you need to protect yourself from. You feel the envy, you see the sabotage, but you need to understand the machinery. Why does a stranger on the internet cheer for you, but your childhood friend secretly hopes you trip? Why is distance a lubricant for applause, while proximity breeds contempt? We need to talk about the psychology of relative deprivation. Humans do not evaluate their success in absolute terms. We evaluate it in relative terms. If you earn $50,000 a year and everyone in your neighborhood earns $30,000, you feel like a king. You feel successful. You feel secure. But if you earn $50,000 a year and everyone in your neighborhood earns $150,000, you feel poor. You feel like a failure. The number didn't change. The context changed. This is the reference group theory. We compare ourselves to the people closest to us. We compare ourselves to our peers, our siblings, our former classmates. We do not compare ourselves to Elon Musk. Elon Musk is an abstraction. He is a different species. His billions don't hurt us because he is not in our reference group. But you are in their reference group. You sat in the same classroom. You came from the same neighborhood. You have the same background. You are the control group in the experiment of their life. When a stranger wins the lottery, it's a statistical anomaly. It's magic. It has nothing to do with them. But when you build wealth, when you, who are just like them, succeed, it destroys their narrative. It removes the distance that protects their ego. Elaine de Barton calls this status anxiety. It is the terror that we are not measuring up to our peers, and nothing triggers status anxiety like rapid financial divergence. Money is the most quantifiable metric of success we have. You can argue about who is happier. You can argue about who is wiser. But you cannot argue about who has a higher net worth. The scoreboard is visible. So when your score shoots up, their status anxiety spikes. They feel a visceral drop in their own social standing. Even if they didn't lose a single dollar, they feel poorer because you got richer. This triggers a primal defense mechanism, the leveling instinct. Throughout human history, in small tribes, if one person hoarded all the food, the tribe died. So we evolved a deep biological urge to punish hoarders, to shame those who took too much, to bring the tall poppy back down to size. It was a survival mechanism. But in the modern world, in your friendship, it is a destruction mechanism. They are subconsciously trying to level the tribe. They are trying to restore the equilibrium where everyone is equal and equally mediocre. This is why they give you bad advice. This is why they magnify the risks. Are you sure you want to invest in that? It sounds risky. My cousin lost everything in the market. Be careful. You should just keep your steady job. Don't get greedy. They are not protecting you from loss. They are protecting themselves from your gain. If you take the risk and win, the gap widens. If you stay safe and stagnant, the gap remains closed. They prefer the safety of your stagnation over the possibility of your success. And here is where it gets truly dark. They might actually feel a perverse sense of relief if you fail. If you lose the money, if the business crashes, if you have to move back into the cheap apartment, watch their reaction. They will be there. Oh, they will be there immediately. They will bring the wine. They will offer the shoulder to cry on. They will say, I told you it was risky, but it's okay. You're still one of us. They will be more supportive of your failure than they ever were of your success. Why? Because your failure restores the order. Your failure proves them right. Your failure puts you back in the box where they can love you without feeling inferior. This is schadenfreude, pleasure derived from another's misfortune. But it's a specific type. It's relief, schadenfreude. The relief that the threat has been neutralized. The relief that they don't have to question their own life anymore because the anomaly, you, has been corrected. You need to understand this. Their love is conditional on your sameness. As long as you are the same, you are safe. But the moment you differentiate, the moment you elevate, you trigger a biological alarm system in their brain that says, threat, threat, threat. And they will attack the threat, even if the threat is their best friend. You are the accomplice. That's the hard pill you have to swallow in this act. They might be the ones holding the bucket, but you are the one climbing back into it. You are the one putting the handcuffs on your own wrists. Let's look at your behavior. You buy the watch. You've wanted it for years. It's a symbol of a milestone you crushed. You put it on and you feel 10 feet tall. You look in the mirror and see a winner. But then you're getting ready to meet them for drinks. And what do? You hesitate. You look at the watch. You think about their faces. You think about the comments. Must be nice. Look at Mr. Rolex. And you take it off. You put it back in the box. You wear the old Fitbit instead. Or maybe you wear it, but you pull your sleeve down. You spend the entire night tugging at your cuff, terrified that a flash of gold might offend them. You are literally hiding your success under a sleeve of shame. And it's not just the watch. It's the discount lie. They compliment your jacket. It cost $800. You worked hard for that $800. But when they ask, nice jacket, where'd you get it? You panic. You don't say, thanks, I bought it to celebrate the launch. No, you say, oh, I got it at an outlet. It was like 70% off, practically free. You lie. You strip the value away from your own possession. You frame it as a bargain bin find because you know they can tolerate a deal, but they cannot tolerate a luxury. You are rewriting your own reality to make it palatable for their insecurity. This is performative poverty. You sit in the circle while they complain about money. They are venting about rent, about gas prices, about how expensive groceries are. And you aren't struggling with that anymore. You have a surplus. You are safe. But you don't stay silent. You join in. Yeah, man, it's crazy out there. I know, my electric bill was insane this month. I'm trying to cut back too. You are role-playing struggle. You are appropriating their pain to maintain your membership in the tribe. You think you are being empathetic. You think you are being humble. Wrong. You are being patronizing. You are lying to the people you claim to love. You are presenting a false version of yourself because you don't trust them with the truth. You don't trust that they can love the real you, the you that isn't broke. And what does this do to your psyche? It teaches your subconscious that success equals danger. It teaches your brain that wealth equals isolation. Every time you hide a win, every time you lie about a price tag, every time you perform stress you don't feel, you are wiring a neural pathway that says, to be safe, I must be small. You become a double agent in your own life. You have the success life where you earn, build, and grow. And you have the social life where you shrink, hide, and pretend. The cognitive dissonance is exhausting. You are burning energy trying to keep these two worlds separate, trying to make sure your broke friends never see your rich reality. And the worst part, you are robbing them of the opportunity to grow up. By dimming your light, you aren't helping them see. You are just keeping the room dark so they can sleep longer. You are enabling their stagnation. You are validating their belief that nobody is making it, when you are standing right there, proof that somebody is. You tell yourself you're doing it to be nice. I don't want to make them feel bad. I don't want to rub it in their faces. Pause. Is it kindness or is it cowardice? Are you protecting their feelings or are you protecting your fear of rejection? You are terrified that if you show up as your full, successful self, they will leave. So you offer them a diluted, watered-down, discount version of yourself. You are paying a social tax to keep them around, and the currency you are paying with is your own self-respect. You are apologizing for the very things you should be celebrating, and until you stop apologizing, you will never truly own your success. You will just be a rich person renting a poor person's mindset. There is a weapon in their arsenal that is sharper than any insult. It is a phrase that sounds like sadness but strikes like a judgment. 2 words. You've changed. They say it with a sigh. They say it while looking at the floor, shaking their head. Money really changed you. I miss the old you. You used to be fun. This is the nostalgia trap, and it is one of the most effective manipulation tactics in the human playbook. Let's dissect the scene. It's Tuesday night. The old you, the broke, directionless version of you, would have been down for drinks. The old you would have stayed out until 2 a.m., complained about the job, spent money you didn't have, and woken up hungover and full of regret. But the new you says no. I can't tonight. I have an early meeting with a client. I'm hitting the gym, then catching up on some reading. I'm saving that cash for the investment property. And that's when they drop the bomb. Wow, you've changed. You're too good for us now. Pause. They aren't missing you. They are missing the version of you that was accessible. They are missing the version of you that had no boundaries. They are missing the version of you that validated their bad habits by participating in them. When you were broke, your time was cheap. They could spend it like loose change. Now that you are successful, your time is expensive. Your time has value, and they cannot afford it anymore. So they try to devalue the asset. They frame your growth as a betrayal. They weaponize your history against your future. Remember when we used to eat ramen on the floor? That was real. This fancy stuff, this isn't you. They are gaslighting you into believing that poverty is authentic and wealth is fake. They are trying to convince you that by improving your life, you have lost your soul. You're not the same person I grew up with. Good. Read that again. Good. You are not supposed to be the same person you were at 20. You are not supposed to be the same person you were when you were 30K in debt. If you are the same person, you have failed. The entire point of life is to evolve. The entire point of the struggle was to change. But to them, your evolution is an insult. It highlights their stagnation. If you started at the same starting line and you are now miles ahead, what does that say about them? It says they have been standing still. It says they have been running in circles. So, to avoid facing that reality, they cling to the old you. They romanticize the struggle. They talk about the good old days when you were both broke, as if being broke was a virtue. We didn't have money, but we were happy. Were you? Were you really happy? Or were you just numb? Were you just comfortable in the shared misery? They are rewriting history to make your current success look like a tragedy. They want you to feel survivor's guilt. They want you to feel bad for escaping the burning building while they are still sitting in the living room, inhaling smoke, pretending everything is fine. This is where the money changed you. Accusation is deadliest. It attacks your character. It suggests that you have become greedy, cold, or arrogant. You care more about your business than your friends. Translation. You care more about your future than my comfort. And you internalize it. You start to worry. Am I losing myself? Am I becoming a bad person? So you self-sabotage. You say yes to the drinks. You pick up the tab. You waste the weekend. You regress. You slide back into the old you just to prove to them that you're still cool, that you haven't forgotten where you came from. Stop. You can remember where you came from without living there. You can love the people from your past without letting them dictate your future. The "you've changed" trap is a cage. It is an attempt to freeze you in time. They want a museum exhibit of their friend, not a living, growing human being. They want the statue they can lean on, not the rocket that is taking off. The next time they say, "You've changed," do not apologize. Do not hang your head. Look them in the eye and own it. Yes, I have changed. I worked really hard to change, and I'm proud of it. Watch how uncomfortable that makes them. Watch how they recoil when you refuse to accept the shame. You are breaking the spell. You are declaring that your growth is not a crime. We have talked about the silence. We have talked about the insults. Now we must look at the most insidious tactic of all, the one that looks like love, the one that sounds like wisdom. The sabotage disguised as concern. This is how they kill your dreams without ever raising their voice. The scene, you are buzzing. You found an opportunity. Maybe it's a rental property that needs work. Maybe it's a volatile crypto play you've researched for months. Maybe it's quitting the 9 to 5 to consult. You have done the math. You have weighed the odds. You are ready to jump. And you make the mistake of telling them. You expect a sounding board. You expect, "Okay, walk me through the numbers." Instead, you get the concern face. The eyebrows pinch together, the head tilts, the voice drops an octave into that "I'm just looking out for you" register. Are you sure that's safe? I don't know, man. That sounds really risky. My uncle tried something like that in '08 and lost his shirt. Why risk what you have? You have a good job, you have benefits, why throw it away? Listen to the language. Safe. Risk. Lost. Throw it away. They are flooding your nervous system with cortisol. They are taking your courage, which is a fragile flame, and pouring the water of their own anxiety all over it. They are not evaluating your deal. They are projecting their fear. They are terrified of the unknown. They are addicted to the paycheck. They are paralyzed by the thought of losing. And because they cannot imagine themselves taking that leap, they cannot allow you to take it either. This is projective identification. They project their own limitations onto you. I couldn't handle that risk becomes you shouldn't handle that risk. I would fail at that becomes you will fail at that. They dress it up as prudence. They call it being realistic. I'm just playing devil's advocate, they say. No, you are not the devil's advocate. You are the devil's jailer. You are trying to lock me in the same cell of mediocrity that you live in. Notice the timing. They never have concerns when you talk about buying a new TV or financing a car. They never have concerns when you discuss blowing money on a vacation. Those are normal bad decisions. Those are safe wastes of money. But the moment you talk about buying an asset, the moment you talk about leverage, the moment you talk about something that could change your financial destiny, suddenly they are risk analysts. Suddenly they are economic experts predicting the next crash. The market is due for a correction. It's a bubble. It's a scam. Why do they do this? Because if you take the risk and fail, they have to comfort you, which is annoying. But if you take the risk and succeed, that is catastrophic for their ego. If you buy that duplex and it cash flows, you prove that safety was actually slavery. You prove that their caution was actually cowardice. Your success exposes the lie they tell themselves every day. I am playing it safe because I am smart. No, you are playing it safe because you are scared. So they try to talk you off the ledge. They try to pull you back from the edge of greatness to the solid ground of average. And the tragedy is, it works. How many businesses were never started because a concerned friend planted a seed of doubt? How many investments were missed because a realistic bestie said it sounded too good to be true? You listen to them, you think, maybe they're right, maybe I am being reckless. So you don't buy the property, you don't start the business, you stay in the cubicle. And they breathe a sigh of relief. The threat is gone, you are safe, you are stuck just like them. They will pat you on the back. You made the smart choice. Better safe than sorry. Wrong. Safe is the most dangerous place you can be. Safe is where dreams go to die. They aren't protecting you from bankruptcy. They are protecting you from wealth. Because a wealthy you is a stranger. A wealthy you is powerful. A wealthy you doesn't need their validation anymore. Realize this. You are taking advice from people who have never been where you want to go. Would you ask a vegan for advice on smoking a brisket? Would you ask a person who has never run a mile for advice on marathon training? No. So why are you asking your friend who lives paycheck to paycheck for advice on building an empire? Their concern is valid only for their reality, not yours. When they say that's too risky, translated, it means that is too risky for me. And you are not them. Now the gloves come off. We move from psychological warfare to financial extraction. This is the moment the dynamic shifts from friendship to parasitism. This is the resource extraction strategy. It starts subtly. It starts at the bar. For years, you traded rounds. You bought one, they bought one. It was the sacred rhythm of reciprocity. But then you got the promotion. Then you closed the deal. And suddenly, the rhythm breaks. You buy the first round. You drink them down. The bartender looks over. Silence. Your friend is checking their phone. Your friend is looking at the TV. Your friend has developed T-Rex arms, suddenly unable to reach for their wallet. So you sigh, you tap your card. I got it. Thanks, man. You're the best. It happens again the next week, and the next. It becomes the default setting. You are the rich one, so you pay. They don't even offer anymore. They don't do the fake wallet reach. They just sit there, expecting the transaction to happen. You have become the designated payer. And if you dare to wait, if you sit there and let the silence stretch, waiting for them to step up, they look at you with confusion, then annoyance. You got this right. I'm a little short this week. There is no shame in their voice. There is only expectation. Because in their mind, your money isn't yours, it's ours. They view your surplus as a communal resource, since you have more than you need, and they have less than they need. It is only fair that you cover the gap. They are performing subconscious socialist redistribution at the dinner table. Then comes the ask. It's never $1 million. It's never enough to ruin you. It's calculated. Hey, can I borrow $200? My car battery died, and I don't get paid until Friday. You say yes. Of course you say yes. It's $200. It's nothing to you. You Venmo it. You forget about it. Friday comes. Silence. Saturday passes. Silence. You see them posting stories at a concert. You see them buying drinks. And you feel that knot in your stomach. It's not about the $200. It's about the disrespect. Now you are in the trap. If you ask for the money back, you are petty. Dude, it's just $200. Relax. I'll get it to you. They gaslight you for wanting your own property back. They make you feel like Scrooge McDuck for counting pennies. Why are you stressing over $200 when you make that in an hour? Boom, there it is, the truth. They don't respect the loan because they don't respect the labor that produced it. They think your money came easy, so it should go easy. They are punishing you for having abundance. You can afford it becomes the justification for their theft. And let's be clear, it is theft. Borrowing without the intention or priority to repay is stealing. But they don't see it that way. They see it as a friendship tax. You are paying a premium to be in their presence. You are subsidizing their lifestyle to maintain the connection. And it escalates. They start suggesting expensive plans, plans they can't afford, because they assume you will subsidize them. Let's get the VIP table. Let's go to that steakhouse. Let's book the Airbnb. And when the bill comes, the math never works out. I'll Venmo you, they say. But the Venmo never comes, or it's short. I sent you $50. That covers my meal, right? It doesn't cover the tax, the tip, or the drinks. You become the bank that never collects interest and never forecloses. And you let it happen. Why? Because you are afraid. You are afraid that if you close the wallet, you close the friendship. You are afraid that they only like you for what you can provide. And deep down, you know the answer. If you stopped paying, if you split the bill down to the penny, if you said no to the loan, would they still be there? Or would they find another host? This is the leech dynamic. A leech doesn't hate the host. A leech loves the host. The leech needs the host to be healthy, full of blood and docile. But the leech does not respect the host. And the moment the host dries up, or the moment the host rips the leech off, the relationship is over. You are not a friend to them anymore. You are a utility. You are an ATM with a pulse. And every time you tap that card to avoid the awkwardness, you are teaching them that you accept this role. You are buying their love, and you are getting a terrible exchange rate. It is time to turn the camera around. We have spent 8 acts analyzing them. Their envy, their sabotage, their greed. But a relationship is a system. A system requires 2 parts to function. Why are you still here? Why do you keep inviting the people who root for your failure? Why do you keep buying drinks for the people who resent your success? Why do you keep sharing your dreams with the people who stomp on them? This is the mirror turn, and the reflection is not going to be pretty. You are keeping them around because you are addicted to the feeling of being the savior. When you are the rich friend, the successful friend, the stable friend, you have power. You are the one who fixes things. You are the one who pays. You are the one who gives advice. It feels good, doesn't it? It feeds your ego. It makes you feel needed. If you surround yourself with people who are doing better than you are small. You are the student. You are the one catching up. That is uncomfortable. But if you surround yourself with people who are doing worse than you are the king. You are the big fish in the small pond. You are using their failure to prop up your self-esteem, just as much as they are using your success to fuel their victimhood. It is a symbiotic toxicity. You need them to be broken so you can feel whole. Or maybe it's survivor's guilt. You made it out of the neighborhood. You made it out of the struggle. And you feel bad about it. You look at them and think, why me? Why did I get the break? Why did I get the brain for this? So you pay the guilt tax. You let them mistreat you. You let them make the jokes. You let them borrow the money. It is your penance. You are punishing yourself for winning. You are subconsciously trying to even the score by letting them extract value from you. If I let them use me, then I'm not really better than them. I'm still a good person. Stop. Being a doormat is not a virtue. Enabling mediocrity is not kindness. You are not a bad person for winning. You are a bad friend for lying. And you are lying every time you pretend this dynamic is healthy. And there is a darker reason you stay. Fear of growth. As long as you hang out with them, you have an excuse to coast. I'm doing better than all my friends, you tell yourself. I'm the smartest guy in the room. It makes you complacent. It convinces you that you've made it. If you cut them off and joined a circle of multimillionaires, if you joined a circle of high performers, suddenly you aren't special anymore. Suddenly you are the broke one. You are the lazy one. You are the one who needs to level up. That is terrifying. So you cling to your anchors because they make you feel like you're moving fast when you are actually drifting. You are choosing the comfort of the king of the losers, title over the discomfort of being the rookie of the winners. And look at the cost. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. You know this quote. You've posted it on Instagram. But you don't live it. If your 5 closest friends are cynical, broke, envious, and stagnant, what does that make the future version of you? You are inhaling their second-hand smoke. You are absorbing their limiting beliefs by osmosis. Every time they say, rich people are evil, a part of you shrinks. Every time they say, it's too risky, a part of you hesitates. You think you are immune. You are not. You cannot swim in a sewer and come out smelling like roses. You are actively sabotaging your own potential by refusing to prune your tree. A gardener cuts the dead branches not because he hates the tree, but because he loves it. The dead branches steal nutrients from the new growth. These friends, they are dead branches. They are sucking the energy, the time, and the joy out of your life, and giving nothing back but shade. You are waiting for them to change. You are waiting for the moment they wake up and say, "Wow, you inspire me. Let's crush it together." It is not going to happen. They have shown you who they are. They have shown you with their silence. They have shown you with their jokes. They have shown you with their hands in your pockets. Believe them. The betrayal is not that they are envious. That is human nature. The betrayal is that you see it, you feel it, you know it, and you stay. You are betraying yourself. You are at the crossroads. This is the moment of the binary choice. There is no middle ground. There is no compromise. You cannot negotiate with gravity. Option A, the comfortable slow death. You keep them. You keep the Sunday brunches where you have to censor your wins. You keep the group chat where you have to perform poverty. You keep the friends who check for your failure like it's the weather forecast. Here is what will happen. You will hit a ceiling, a glass ceiling made of their insecurity. You will subconsciously stop growing because you are tired of the friction. You will stop taking risks because you don't want to hear their concerns. You will stop making money because you are tired of apologizing for it. You will become a gray, diluted version of yourself. And 10 years from now, you will look around at that table and you will realize you are just like them. Bitter, stagnant, resentful. You will have kept your friends, but you will have lost yourself. And the irony, they will still resent you. They will resent you for the potential you wasted. They will sense your unhappiness and they will feed on it. See, money didn't make him happy. They will use your misery to validate their mediocrity one last time. Option B, the painful elevation. You cut the cord. You don't have to be dramatic. You don't need a breakup text. You don't need a final argument. You just withdraw. You stop engaging with the negativity. You stop apologizing for your life. You stop buying the drinks. You stop sharing your dreams with people who kill them. And you watch what happens. The herd will cull itself. When you stop playing the role of the ATM or the failure, they will stop calling. They will drift away. And it will hurt. It will be lonely. You will have empty Friday nights. You will have a silent phone. You will feel the void of elevation. This is the price of admission to the next level. Every butterfly has to leave the caterpillar colony. The caterpillars don't understand the butterfly. They think it's broken. They think it's weird. But the butterfly cannot crawl anymore. It has to fly. You have to find new people. People who are playing the game at your level. People who say, "Congratulations," and mean it. People who say, "How did you do that? Teach me." People who have more zeros in their bank account than you, who make you feel small, not out of shame, but out of inspiration. People who force you to level up just to stay in the conversation. These people exist, but you will never find them if your hands are full holding onto the past. You have to create the vacuum for the new to enter. This is the uncomfortable truth. You cannot bring everyone with you. The summit is narrow, the air is thin. Some people are anchored to the valley. If you try to carry them up the mountain, you will die on the slope. You have to let them go. It is not an act of malice. It is an act of survival. It is an act of self-respect. You owe it to your future self to protect your environment. Your energy is a finite resource. Stop investing it in assets that yield a negative return. So look at your phone. Look at your contacts. Who is clapping when you win? Who is silent? Who makes you feel lighter? Who makes you feel heavy? The audit is over. The data is in. You know who they are. Now you have to decide. Do you want to be liked by them? Or do you want to be proud of you? Do you want the comfort of the past or the glory of the future? The cage door is open. It has been open the whole time. You are the only one keeping yourself inside. Walk out.